Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tyler with Black Diamond Softball and Fitness, and you're watching Foul Pole to Foul Pole Daily. Hey, welcome into Foul Pole to Foul Pole Daily. We have got some huge news coming out of the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association and Major League Baseball. It was announced earlier today that Major League Baseball is the official sponsor of the NFCA. It is the first ever major sponsor for NFCA. Baseball is invested in the growth of the game, which is good for everybody. And you know that Major League Baseball is doing a lot of changing over the last couple of years to speed up the game, to bring in more eyes, trying to make it more enjoyable for fans to watch. So they took a look at the game of softball and says, you know what, the game is faster. It's more exciting. Let's get involved with it. And, I've talked to a lot of different guests on the podcast. And one thing we talk about is what is the next step for softball. It's been growing. It's been taking off. It's huge internationally. The big spectacle is the College World Series. But if you look at the beginning of the seasons, we got the Mary Nutter that's getting eyes on it. We've got the tournament down in Clearwater, or the sort of showcase preseason ball down in Clearwater. More eyes are on TV because the networks like the Big Ten, the ACC, the SEC, they have their own networks, so they're playing games as well. I just think it's huge from Major League Baseball to expand its efforts in the softball space. With that, of course, there's more money, but then there's more exposure that comes with that too. So when you look at the different programs that NFCA is involved with, their national conventions, they bringing coaches together, to have MLB involved with that, I think is great. Not only the Power 5 conferences, not just Division I, but we're looking at, D3s, we're looking at NAIAs, we're talking HBCUs. We're bringing it as a collective coming together to continue to grow the sport. So there's a lot of news that's going to be coming out in the future as well, as far as what all this partnership entails. So big news. I can't be any more excited than I am because I jumped into this thing trying to spread the good word, and this is some awesome word for me to be able to share with you guys. So kudos to Major League Baseball. Kudos to the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association. I will make sure I have that link down below so you can read the actual press release. I have it up on my phone here, just trying to hit some of the notes. So big stuff. Moving forward, we want to talk a little bit about playing in the cold weather. This time of year, it's almost like you get 3 seasons when you're playing. So those girls that get those early 8 o'clock games this past weekend, man, we were playing on the field, we were warming up, and a ball was hitting the outfield, and that thing come back, and it wasn't just wet. There was ice on the ball. So it was frost on the ground. Out there trying to play and compete, it's rough. And then, of course, the balls are already hard. They get even harder when they're frozen. Busting up these composite bats. I know there's people talk about cold weather bats, this and that. It's not necessarily the bat. It's how hard that ball is. It gets frozen sitting in the back of the truck all night, all morning, and then boom, here it comes out on the ball field. So we got to experience that. And then about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, I mean, it was hot. The sun rolled out, no clouds in the sky, beautiful day of ball, sweating a little bit. And then, of course, it was almost like fall weather came in as the sun started to drop. It got a little bit cold, and then it dropped down into the high 40s. So got to experience the weather this weekend. I'm not a big fan of playing ball early in the spring or playing ball outside in the fall. Definitely not in the winter. I'm here on the East Coast in South Carolina, so we do have a little bit longer softball and baseball season. We can usually get going sometime late March and then run it into about the middle of November. And then after that, it just gets a little bit silly. The main reason I want to talk about the cold weather stuff is because of the showcases in these tournaments, these big time fall tournaments where college coaches are able to get out there and see. But I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. And I mean, probably, but how much good ball is being played in the fall when it's like 40 degrees in the morning? Girls are bundled up. They're wearing a bunch of clothes. Their hands are frozen. It's not the best brand of ball, but I guess any chance you can get to get out in front of a college coach, go for it. I guess you got to kind of keep up with the Joneses. So if there's, powerful teams out there or well-known teams that usually carry talent, you want to play against them. You want to see how you stack up against them. I get it. I understand. But for me, and the situation that I'm in, it's a little bit too cold to get what you want out of it. But kudos to the ones that do push through and want to continue to play. I get it. I understand. Just not for me. So that kind of leads me into my next point for today's episode. It's about perspective, and perspective has a few different definitions, but in this instance, I want to use it from let's try to understand as a society, as a softball society. Let's try to understand that we haven't experienced it all. We haven't walked in everyone's shoes, and we don't necessarily know where people are coming from. There's a really good group on Facebook. The group is, it's over 100,000 followers now. It's coaching, softball tips and drills and skills and something like that. I'll link it in the description below so you can see it. But I post in there every once in a while. Sometimes it gains traction, sometimes it doesn't. But today I posted in there about just because you play softball doesn't mean you want to play in college or continue playing or even go to college. And I left it out there. I left it vague because I wanted people to jump on it any way they wanted to. And it got a ton of traction. There's a bunch of comments on there. And I was going through them. I was reading them and stuff, and then just having some conversations with different stuff. And I have a really good friendship and really good relationship with Mandy Balda from NSR. I've got a really good friendship and relationship with a lot of different coaches, parents, and stuff like that. And so it got a lot of feedback. So you're talking scouts, you're talking coaches, you're talking college coaches, college players, rec ball players, travel ball players. So it got a lot of feedback from a lot of different angles, which is great. I love it. That's why I post the way that I do post, is to keep it vague so that people can put their opinion on it. But what I was seeing was, I guess just like every forum that's out there, we don't necessarily want to hear anyone else's side of things. And it's unfortunate. And it's our society. It's the way we are. It's the world we live in today. There were some comments that were just so egregious that I didn't even give it the light of day. I didn't even respond. And I don't think too many people did. Some people laughed at it, but there were there were a couple of people that were kind of on the same bandwagon as if you have no desire to play in college, then you shouldn't be playing travel ball. Or on the same sentiment, if you're not playing to play in college, you should play rec ball. Well, we all know that rec ball is pretty much dead. It's not completely dead. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there are still pockets throughout the country that has high-level ball or high-end rec that continue to thrive. Their communities, it's just like it was 20, 30 years ago. For the majority of us, we live in areas where there's just not a lot of players that are playing at the rec ball. Now, to me, rec ball is that seasonal 6 to 8 weeks of games twice a week. And then there's one tournament at the end, and then there's all-stars. To me, that's what rec ball is. What a lot of us, what 80% of us call travel ball is traveling rec ball. And then you have that elite level above that is that high-end showcase type stuff, the high caliber. It's what travel used to be 20 years ago. There used to be just a few teams, and they would travel across state lines and play. Nowadays, where there used to be travel teams, it is rec ball teams that what used to be rec ball teams now are travel teams that have girls from like a 30, 40-mile radius or so, where they live in the same town and they go and play. Different tournaments every week, same teams, just different city. And that's awesome. That's traveling rec ball. But then you have the ones that cross state lines and go to places like the Colorado Sparkler or the Atlanta Legacy or Ray Seymour. And then there's some other ones. I'm definitely not trying to leave any of these out. So I guess the point that I'm getting at, the long way around, if you will, there are differences in what we know. And we don't know what we don't know. So take it from someone, this is their first year as a 10U ball player, and they're a parent, and they just finished up their first season of rec ball or traveling rec ball. They see a post on there, and then people commenting like, if your kid doesn't want to play in college, they don't need to be playing travel ball. Well, it's like, okay, well, where are they supposed to go? What if they would just want to play higher level of competition? They're committed, they work out, they practice. This is one of the 3 sports that they play, and they do, want to go to college and be, a college athlete, but they don't know what sport yet or whatever. There's so many different scenarios to where you need to find your right fit and then also keep everything into perspective as well. Like this is like your own journey. So if you're going to play travel ball, but if this is what you're going to do, understand that there's a cost. The cost has gone up. You can't just go right across town and practice with girls and then play against the same girls week in and week out. The game has evolved. And with that, so has the competition and the skill set and the people that have their hand out to get paid. You got tournament directors, and you got different sanctioning bodies, and you have different rule sets, and you have all this other stuff. The equipment has gotten better, so the prices have gone up. You got to pay the umpires. If you're traveling, a distance, you got to pay, a hotel. Like there's a lot that goes into it. But just if you pull all those layers back and have that blanket statement of don't play travel ball unless you intend on playing in college, that's just sending a bad message. And I think for the most part, that may be just how it came off. I don't think that's how people truly feel. But from their perspective, that could be all they know. They could be some area, some town that we don't even know of. And that's what they're used to. That's their history. That's their experience. Like the only ones that play travel are the girls that go to play college ball. So just keep that in mind. Like understand that we have different opinions. We have different perspectives. If you're coming straight out and you've done nothing but play rec ball in the town you lived in, and then you moved because one of y'all got a different job and you moved across the country, and now you're somewhere there is no rec ball, but there's a whole bunch of travel teams. It's a new experience. You don't have a perspective on that. So try to look at it from a different point of view and understand that your situation and their situation is different, and you're learning together. So anyway, I just want to give you my 2 cents on that. Big news from NFCA and Major League Baseball. I wish you guys all the best of luck during this cold weather season, trying to get out there and get your exposure and get everything you can out of the fall ball. It's just not for me. And let's keep an open mind when we're talking to different people about different things when it comes to softball. We're not the same, and we need to be able to have a conversation. And just because their opinion or their experience is different from yours doesn't make them wrong, doesn't make you right, doesn't make you wrong and them right. It just, hey, it's different. And we grow as a society, and we grow as a people, and we grow as a softball community by understanding that we have differences, and that's what makes us who we are. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Foul Pole to Foul Pole Daily. We do have a couple of podcasts coming out over the next 2 weeks. Got some big-time guests coming up. Valerie Austin will be on the show. We are recording our podcast Friday, so that'll go out the following week. I have a fellow firecracker coach that will be coming on. We're shooting tonight, so that will be going out this week. Stay tuned for that. Appreciate you guys doing what you do for the show, for the community here at Foul Pole to Foul Pole and Black Diamond Softball and Fitness. Without you guys watching this, listening to it, sharing it, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. So I want to thank you guys. If you know somebody that hasn't yet found the podcast or the YouTube channel, whatever, please share this with them. And when you do, you tell them you love them.